Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is WireDogSec back with another video for you guys. Today's video, we are in TryHackMe SOC Level 1 Learning Path, Network Security and Traffic Analysis module. This is the TShark Challenge I Teamwork Room. Put your TShark skills into practice and analyze some network traffic. This room is completely hands-on practical skills here, so hands-on keyboard skills here. All right, so all you have here is the introduction, and then you have the case teamwork here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what they're talking about. Before we dive into it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Task 1 Introduction. This room presents you with a challenge to investigate some traffic data as a part of the SOC team. Let's start working with TShark to analyze the captured traffic. We recommend completing the TShark The Basics room and TShark CLI Wireshark features rooms first. So check out my channel for videos related to those two rooms, which will teach you how to use the tool in depth. How to start the machine, click this green button over here that says Start Machine, and then it'll open up in split view. Notes, exercise files contain real examples. Do not interact with them outside of the given VM. Direct interaction with samples and their contents, files, domains, and IP addresses outside the given VM can pose security threats to your machine. And that's very valuable information to take into this, okay? So just imagine that you are investigating this in the real world, right? Investigating a PCAP that can possibly have suspicious or malicious indicators of compromise in there. Well, you don't want to analyze those on like a production machine, right? You're going to take that into a lab environment, or maybe you're doing a home investigation and you have your own home laptop. Well, open that up in VMware and open that up in one of your VMs and just fire it off in there. Start investigating, okay, so that you don't accidentally infect your own machine. Something nasty here. But anyway, task number 2, case teamwork. An alert has been triggered. The threat research team discovered a suspicious domain that could be a potential threat to the organization. The case was assigned to you. Inspect the provided teamwork.pcap located in the desktop exercise files directory and create artifacts for detection tooling. And then your tools, of course, TShark, and then VirusTotal we're going to be using as well. Answer the questions below. Investigate the contacted domains. Investigate the domains by using VirusTotal. According to VirusTotal, there is a domain marked as malicious/suspicious. And then you have some questions here to answer as you're going through here. Remember to have that investigative mindset, and you'll come to realize that as you're going through these particular questions. All right. So if you flip over to the VM real quick, I have it open inside of this full screen mode here, and there's our PCAP right there. All right. So go ahead and have at it. And also be sure to check your notes, or you can reference these other rooms here. So you have basics pulled up, and I have the other room, the CLI Wireshark features, so you can reference these inside of here. But you should also have notes if you've been following along with my video series. You should have your own notes here that you can reference, okay? Anyway, so go ahead and try to answer those questions and then come back to the video and we will step through everything together. Hey everybody, this is WireDogSec. Just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Once you hit the notification bell, be sure to set to all notifications so you know every time I post to the channel, upload a video, all that good stuff. Let's continue to grow our glorious community here. We are in the cyber trenches. We're not just reporting on it. Be sure to check out my channel as well. I have tons of videos. You can see here over 300 videos ready for you to check out and learn something from. Be sure to review my posts. I'm frequently posting new things to my channel here, including jobs and everything related to that. Also, I have tons of playlists here that you can review, make it more convenient for you. Anyway, happy defending, happy hacking, enjoy the video. Welcome back. Hopefully you're able to figure these out yourself. If not, that's fine. We will step through the process together. Let's take a look here. What is the full URL of the suspicious malicious domain address? Enter your answer in defang format. Remember, we can use CyberChef to defang URLs and also IP addresses of that nature. So let's flip back over here, and here's our PCAP here. This teamwork.pcap is going to be what we're going to be taking a look at. So let's clear this out and take a look at some process here. So we already know we're looking for like a domain URL of that nature. So we can use this DNS inside of our filter here. And right away we get something down and dirty output here. And we can see that this PayPal one looks highly suspect, right? It's referenced several times in here. And it looks weird on top of that. See, paypal.com and then a bunch of other random crap after that. Okay, so that right away just shows like red flags to me. Okay, to me it looks like they're trying to pretend to be PayPal here to fool the victim into doing something they shouldn't be doing. So let's clear this out. Since we know that information, that's probably most likely what it's going to be malicious in here. And also you can use OSINT tools out there like VirusTotal, of course, to look it up and see if there's any hits on that particular domain, and other OSINT tools as well. There's URL scan and a bunch of others out there you can use. But anyway, so here's other ones that you can look at cleaner output. Okay, I'm going to use this one here since this is like one of the best ones that you can probably build out. Okay, so now we have everything just down to what we need here, and there's 19 occurrences in here, right, of this particular domain in question. And that's the one we're going to grab here. So just go ahead and copy that, and then you can plug it into CyberChef here and get that particular defined format. So just copy this like so, and just copy that over as your answer. Plug it inside there. Now remember, you'll have to put this HTTP in front of it. So remember to do that. Otherwise, it may not take your answer. So on top of that, the next question says, when was the URL of the malicious/suspicious domain address first submitted to VirusTotal? Okay, so if we flip over to VirusTotal, you just go in here and just search for it, right? So if you do it this way, you will not be able to see that answer in here or that information here. You won't see the history, which is odd, right? But if you go in here and you add in HTTP and the rest of it here, you can see it under details, under first submission, and then we can see it here, right? So there goes our answer for that one. And the next one says, which known service was the domain trying to impersonate? Well, we saw PayPal in there, so that's a given one there. Next one says, what is the IP address of the malicious domain? Enter your answer in the defined format. So if we go back and take a look at our original down and dirty one here, we can already see that there's several IPs listed inside of here, right? And we need to look at this one. So what we can do is clear all this out, and we can try to pipe this into grep and just grep on PayPal, since we already know that's the malicious one in question. Hit enter, and that'll help us slim this down a little bit more. So as we're reviewing this, and you can take a look at a few of these here, and you can see that this 184.154.127.226 appears to be the one we are looking for, right? Obviously, if you see the other ones in here, you're gonna have to do some digging on those, like some research on those to make sure they're not malicious or anything like that. Okay, so if you look this one up inside of an OSINT tool, or something like VirusTotal, you should get some information back regarding that, right? So you can see there's no hits on this particular IP address, but if you go back and take a look at this domain here, maybe you can see that the IP may have shown up in here or not. With this one, what you can do is get rid of the HTTP stuff here, hit enter, and it doesn't want to work correctly. So let's just do it this way. Okay, get rid of that. And then we'll go to details here, relations, and then you can see the IP address listed here, right? That's the one in question. So that's another way of doing it. But anyway, so as we are conducting our investigation, since we know that that's the suspicious domain and IP address in question, for this initial one here, we can pipe this into grep. Again, this is just some additional tidbits here as you're doing an investigation. Okay, so now we just need this one, right? After we get that, our query squared away, we can put this into a folder or a file, right? So we'll just call this sus domain.txt. There we go. Cat it. So now we have this as our evidence or proof or for our notes or whatever, right? If we are doing this in like the real world or something like that. You can do this for anything that you think you should be tracking. Okay, that's just one example. You can do it for the actual IP as well. Okay, so if we wanted to do that, you can do something like, I just forgot what it was. Let me go back and check my notes real quick. I believe it's this one here. The one that, there's one in here that, okay, Well, you can do something like this as well. You can just put this into like a file or whatever to reference later on. But it may be later on in this task here that I'm going to get to. So we already have the answer for that one. Next one says we need to get the email address and then put it into FANG format as well. So right away, we're going to probably look at HTTP stuff, right? So remember in the other videos, as we're going through learning how to use TShark, we can use this filter here, HTTP, and then contains. Then you can look for .com, so you know that you're looking for an email address. An email address is going to have that .com in there, right? So you can start off by doing this, and then it should give you some results here to reference as you're scanning through these results and reviewing them. You can see that this application, et cetera, form URL and code is mentioned. You can see this login.php. Now, to me, this looks like this is some form of login page. Well, with login pages, you're going to have to use like a username or like an email address and password to log into the system, right? Or a web application, web server, what have you, website. So you can use that information to do some more investigation. So you can pivot off this information to get that email address in question. So let's go ahead and clear all this stuff out of here. And what you can do is use frame and then contains login.php so you can dig into that particular file there. And this .v should give us more information. I believe that stands for verbose, if I'm not mistaken. So as you can see here, this looks like the actual Wireshark pane if you're looking in Wireshark, right? And as you're scrolling through here, you'll see that you can find the information on the email address in question here. You can see a post request to that, right? And you can see the forum stuff mentioned again. And then there's the malicious domain in question. And then you can see this user equals Johnny5alive@gmail.com. So, and then you can also see the password here. Browser information, you can see the operating system, stuff like that. Okay, so this appears to be what we're looking for. So grab that and then plug it in into CyberChef, or you just plug it in manually and then just defang it that way. So remember, put it in this format here. So Johnny5alive@gmail.com, and don't forget the open and close brackets there. Okay, so that should be it for that one. And also remember, if you're going to take notes for this in like an actual investigation, you can pipe this into grep once again. Okay, and then you can either put that IP address in or that email address in there by itself, or you can just use something like at gmail.com. Okay, like that, and then press enter. Now we just have that information here. So you can put this into a file. So we'll just say sus email.txt. Okay, and then we can cat it, make sure we have everything in there. Bam. So now we have everything in there that we should need for our investigation if we need to do anything else or to reflect on or reference our notes as we're going through this investigation process. And that should be it, right? So remember that you have to go back and reference these filters, these display filters and such. I for sure could not remember all of them. So hopefully you took good notes and you can reference them, or you can just go back to those 2 rooms that we did before about TShark and you can reference those as well. And you can also reference Wireshark filters. But yeah, so you should have some notes like this, make easier for you to reference, and then you can build out your queries and such through that way. Okay. Also, I'm going to include a cheat sheet for like Wireshark filters. I found one online. I believe it's this one here. So you can use these filters and stuff like that and make it easy to get to, right? And also, like I said, you can go back and reference those rooms. So this one is one of the TShark rooms, the TShark, the basics, and it goes over a lot of this information, explains it in great detail in case you forget anything. Like I said, I don't use these tools every day, especially TShark, anything like that. So it's good to have these in like a notes section or something like that. And also, this is the CLI Wireshark features room. You can also check out my video on that, and it breaks down everything here of what everything does in order to build out your queries. Okay. And I think that's it. Yeah, there's this Wireshark package operation has a lot of good information here as well for using these protocol filters and such. So you can build out your query using these Wireshark filters to reference. Okay, so a lot of good information here. But anyways, we are done with this particular room. The next one's going to be over the directory, TShark Challenge II directory. All right, so that wraps up our video. If you enjoyed this video, found it valuable, be sure to hit that like button, comment on the video. What was your best part? Did you struggle anywhere in here? Do you have any helpful tips for everybody else that's viewing? Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know every time I upload to the channel. As always, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Also, one last thing, remember that you can go to this malware traffic analysis if you want some more practice here with Wireshark or TShark to analyze these PCAPs. Okay, I highly recommend going through and doing some additional homework here. All right, Abe walks you through some of these things inside of here. Right, gives you some questions down here to answer. Just helps you out in your career. Right, remember, hands-on keyboard skills is what a lot of employers are looking for. Okay.